The ATP gets tired of Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner. Tennis player Jakub Mensik was one of the chosen ones who could sneak into the bipolar fight currently happening in the ATP rankings. But the Czech, as of today, confirms that everyone is already giving up on that option. Not even with Jannik Sinner suspended for 3 months has anyone managed to threaten the Italian for his top 2 spot. The world number 1 was indeed taken from him by Carlos Alcaraz, who else, but both maintain such a powerful rivalry that even the German Alexander Zverev looks weak next to them. And that's despite being ranked number 3. In 2025, the titles are practically being split between them just by showing up. If they don't face each other in a final, it's because one of them didn't participate. And when one doesn't win, the other does. To such an extent that their own rivals are getting tired and see it as impossible to reach them. One of those rivals is Jakub Mensik. The Czech tennis player was one of the chosen ones at the beginning of this season to try to challenge them and, why not, crash their party. But now that the year is entering its final stretch, he has ruled out that objective. Or at least, that's what he revealed in an interview with La Gazzetta dello Sport. Right now Alcaraz and Sinner are the best, then there's a big gap with the rest. We try to catch up, and that's our job, but I see them as superior to us in every way. Their consistency and style of play are on another level. Every shot makes a difference. In Miami, he was the big revelation after beating Novak Djokovic in the final, but pressure and injuries have prevented him from shining much more in 2025. I really have to improve in every aspect of my tennis to grow. I can't make predictions. You can learn a lot from them in practice, but facing them for the first time would be useful to understand how they act in every situation. I don't feel I have expectations, but I'm willing to work hard. His first Masters 1000 title made all the spotlight turn to him immediately. Now, those have faded a bit. Fans and journalists start talking about you, and your matches get much more attention. But I have no expectations for my career and I'm simply focused on working. Winning a tournament or important matches doesn't mean you've reached the level of the best. Right now I'm training, I see my ranking rise, and my game improving. I'm happy with that. At this stage, you need to gain experience, because consistency is the key to getting there. Carlos Alcaraz enjoys his holidays and rest before resuming training to prepare for the Six Kings Slam. The Spanish tennis player has recovered from his ankle injury suffered at the ATP 500 in Tokyo and will be present at the tournament held in Saudi Arabia from October 15 to 18. As of now, he is enjoying the Spanish Open golf tournament taking place in Madrid at the Club de Campo Villa de Madrid. The world number 1 played a round with Jon Rahm and Irishman Shane Lowry on Wednesday and followed Rahm's first day on Thursday. He is about to wrap up the mini vacation he took after winning the ATP 500 in Tokyo. Having recovered from the left ankle sprain he managed during his victory run in Japan's capital, he has refreshed both body and mind for the season's final stretch. Alcaraz and his team decided to withdraw from the ATP Masters 1000 in Shanghai, which made it possible for him to attend the golf event in Madrid. On Thursday, the Mercian took advantage of his last hours of rest to watch Rahm's first round from the course, enjoying the tournament atmosphere. He was not alone, he was accompanied by his Davis Cup captain, David Ferrer, with whom he shares a close relationship, and footballer Sergio Reguilon, another of his close friends. A day of sport and relaxation before focusing again on the demanding end of the season. Alcaraz returns to training. After this short vacation, Carlos Alcaraz will begin training on Friday under coach Juan Carlos Ferrero to prepare for the Six Kings Slam. Although it's an exhibition tournament, the prize is too tempting. Each player will receive $1.5 million just for participating, while the event winner will take home up to $6 million, a prize far greater than any Grand Slam. Carlos Alcaraz heads into this event as world number 1 and with the feeling of a job well done. The world number 1 won the US Open and then the ATP 500 in Tokyo. He's in the best moment of his career and wants to stay on top until the end of the year. A few goals remain. First, to win the Paris Masters 1000, Bercy, for the first time in his career. Then, to win the ATP Finals in Turin for the first time, and finally, to lead Spain to victory in the Davis Cup in Bologna. A difficult challenge, but nothing impossible for this player who has already shown that nothing can escape him this season. The Spanish player will travel next Tuesday to Saudi Arabia to compete in the Six Kings Slam. Alcaraz, along with Novak Djokovic, is one of 2 players who will enter directly into the semifinals on October 16. This was determined by the number of Grand Slam titles. The Spaniard ranks second among all participants with 6, while Djokovic leads with 24. The 2 quarterfinal draws were made today. Jannik Sinner will face Stefanos Tsitsipas, and Alexander Zverev will play Taylor Fritz. The winner of the first matchup will face Djokovic, and the winner of the second will meet Alcaraz. Therefore, Alcaraz could earn up to $7 million for winning just 2 matches. Carlos Alcaraz surpasses Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic with his new Nike contract. Stay until the end to learn all the details of this new deal. Carlos Alcaraz has been a Nike athlete since 2019 and agreed to a contract extension with the sportswear giant last year after winning his first Roland Garros title. Reportedly, Carlos Alcaraz will unveil a new personal Nike logo at the ATP Finals next month in Turin. Alcaraz and his rival Jannik Sinner are the only 2 players who have officially secured their spots for the season-ending tournament in Italy. The world's number 1 and 2 have dominated men's tennis for most of the past 2 years, with the last 8 Grand Slams split between them. Alcaraz overtook Sinner for the top spot in the ATP rankings after his US Open victory last month. Alcaraz has been backed by Nike since 2019 and signed a contract extension with them last year following his first Roland Garros triumph. He is reportedly set to earn €160 million with the new contract. The 22-year-old is the youngest player ever to win 6 Grand Slams and is just 1 Australian Open crown away from completing all 4 major titles early in his career. The current Roland Garros and US Open champion withdrew from the ongoing Shanghai Masters after suffering an injury during his victorious Tokyo campaign last month. He is expected to return for the exhibition 6 Kings Slam tournament in Saudi Arabia next week. Unfortunately, I've been struggling with some physical issues, and after discussing it with my team, we believe the best decision is to rest and recover, he said when announcing his withdrawal from Shanghai. I was really looking forward to playing again in front of the fantastic fans in Shanghai. I hope to be back soon and see my Chinese fans next year. After the 6 Kings Slam, Alcaraz will compete in the Paris Masters, October 27th to November 2nd, the ATP Finals, November 9th to 16th, and the Davis Cup Finals, November 18th to 23rd. A new symbol for an already exceptional career, Carlos Alcaraz will unveil his own Nike logo in Turin, joining Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal in the exclusive group of players with their own Nike insignia. Having become a true superstar in tennis and sports worldwide, Carlos Alcaraz will soon be part of that very select circle of athletes with their own brand symbol under Nike. Sinner and Djokovic make a decision that could change tennis forever. Players denounce extreme conditions in the tournament, with high temperatures and humidity affecting performance and health. The Shanghai Masters 1000 is entering its final stretch, but without most of its top favorites. The sweltering heat and high humidity in the Chinese city have been the main reason many players have dropped out like flies. So far, there have been 7 retirements in this penultimate Masters 1000 of the season, with Jannik Sinner's being the most notable. His shocking images limping visibly and barely able to move went viral, leaving the tournament without its champion and top favorite following Carlos Alcaraz's withdrawal. The main attraction now is Novak Djokovic, who continues in the draw despite also suffering from the harsh weather, as was evident when he vomited during his 3rd round match against German Yannick Hanfmann. All this has led the ATP to consider creating an official rule on heat, as current regulations state that decisions to suspend play due to adverse weather conditions, including extreme heat, are made by the on-site ATP supervisor in coordination with medical teams and local authorities. This remains under active review, and additional measures are currently being evaluated, including the implementation of an official heat policy, in consultation with players, tournaments, and medical experts, the ATP told Reuters. The safety of players remains a top priority for the ATP, added the organization. If implemented, it wouldn't be a novelty on the circuit, as the Grand Slams, which depend on the ITF and not the ATP, have already formally established rules allowing extended breaks and match suspensions when conditions require it. Jannik Sinner withdraws from the Shanghai Masters 1000 due to physical problems. This Sunday, October 5th, Italian tennis player Jannik Sinner withdrew from the Shanghai Masters 1000 after experiencing physical issues during his match against Dutchman Talon Griekspoor. As the defending champion and one of the top favorites to win the title, Sinner had to leave the court while attempting a comeback against his opponent. Novak Djokovic vomited on court and Sinner retired with cramps. One of the first to show signs of exhaustion was Novak Djokovic, who, after defeating Yannick Hanfmann, ended up vomiting due to the intense heat. "It's brutal when you have 80% humidity day after day," said the Serbian, who also described the situation as crazy in terms of the physical demands. Another case was Jannik Sinner, who had to retire from his match against Griekspoor due to cramps in his right leg, even though he was leading. The automatic withdrawal gave victory to the Dutchman, who acknowledged, "Conditions have been brutal all week." Several players voiced complaints about the weather. Frenchman Arthur Rinderknecht also joined the complaints. "It's hard to breathe on the court," he said, referring to the combined effects of heat, humidity, and air pollution. The sun hits your head hard, and it's difficult to stay calm, he added, pointing not only to physical exhaustion but also to the mental strain of competing under such conditions. This also raises concerns for fans, who suffer in the stands as well. You have to know how to optimize your body, concluded Reindeknecht, making it clear that every match in Shanghai has become a true test of endurance. The situation, far from being anecdotal, has already become a subject of debate throughout the professional circuit.